The Volkhov Front was a major formation of the Red Army during the first period of the Second World War. It was formed as an expediency of an early attempt to halt the advance of the Wehrmacht Army Group North in its offensive thrust towards Leningrad. Initially, the front operated to the south of Leningrad, with its flank on Lake Ladoga. First formation. The Volkhov Front was formed on 17 December 1941 from the left wing of the Leningrad Front and elements of the Stateuka Reserve during the conduct of the Tikhvin offensive operation under the command of the General of Army Kirill Meretskov, with General Grigory Stelmak as Chief of Staff and Army Commissar First Rank A.I. Zaporozhets. Initially, Sokolov's 26th Army and Galanin's 59th Armies were allocated to the front's formation. The front also included Meretskov's 4th Army and Klikov's 52nd Army. The front's air support was provided by the 14th Air Army of General Major I.P. Zhuravlev. The 8th Army, that was formed in early January, was also added to the front. Initially, the front held a frontage of 250 kilometers. The front's neighboring formations were the 54th Army of the Leningrad Front and the 11th Army of the Northwestern Front. Second Shock Army, and Andrei Vlasiv was named Deputy Commander under Meretskov and in charge of the Second Shock Army. On January 7, 1942, he spearheaded the Lyuban offensive operation to break the Leningrad encirclement, planned as a combined operation between the Volkhov and Leningrad fronts on a 30 km frontage. Other armies of the Leningrad front were supposed to participate at scheduled intervals in this operation. Crossing the Volkhov River, Vlasiv's army was successful in breaking through the German 18th Army lines and penetrated 70 to 74 kilometers deep inside the German rear area. The other armies, however, failed to provide the required support, and Vlasiv's army became stranded. Permission to retreat was refused. With the counter-offensive in May 1942, the Second Shock Army was finally allowed to retreat, but by now, too weakened, it was annihilated. Vlasiv was taken prisoner by the Wehrmacht troops on July 6, 1942. Volkov Operational Group. The front was disbanded and its elements reorganized as the Volkov Operational Group and incorporated into the Leningrad Front on 23 April 1942. Strategic Operations Tikhvinsk Strategic Offensive Operation of 1941. Front and Army Operations Tikhvinsk-Kirishsk Offensive Operation of 1941. Malo-Vyshursk Offensive Operation of 1941. Lyubansk Offensive Operation of 1942. Second formation. The front was reformed on 9 June 1942 from the Volkov Operational Group of the Leningrad Front and served until 15 February 1944, participating in the relief of the Siege of Leningrad and taking part in other operations including campaigns: the Strategic Operations Leningrad-Novgorod Strategic Offensive Operation of 1944, relief of the Leningrad blockade through Operation Spark in 1943, Front and Army Operations Operation for the conclusion of extricating of the Second Shock Army of 1942. 1942 Sinyavan Offensive, Minsk Offensive Operation of 1943, Novgorod-Lazarsk Offensive Operation of 1944.